Are we ready? Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. It's nice to see you. What shall we talk about today? As always, meditating. Believe it or not, I thought of monkeys. Okay. What kind of monkeys? Do we have any monkeys? Mm-hmm. I remember when I first came to Buddhism something like 25 years ago. My late Chinese teacher didn't teach anymore. He didn't, in particular, he didn't teach meditation anymore. So I had to look around for instructions how to meditate. Anyway, so now that it seems to be the standard. When you get a little bit older, like when I shaved my head, my master, who was about 74, 6 months before he died. So he's around 74, I think, 74, right? And so I figure that maybe by the time I'm 74, I don't have to teach meditation anymore. Something to look forward to. But as long as we still have a little bit of time, I will continue to teach meditation like this and sit with you. It's because our sitting together is very good for your health. Okay? How do people take care of their health? We can learn from the Japanese red-faced monkeys. I remember the vivid images of these red-faced Japanese monkeys. They soak in hot springs in the snow, so they would sit there for hours and hours. Okay. And they find it very pleasant, you see. So we don't have images of this frozen lake, okay, frozen pond where the red-faced Japanese snow monkeys actually are submerged, and you can only see their faces like that, okay. And so. It's very pleasurable for them, but I think I believe that's where the Japanese learn from. So that's why the tradition for the Japanese is that they go to hot springs. They take it very seriously, right? And it's not surprising that culturally a lot of Japanese people, of course, under varying factors, but many of them live to be very long ages, in the 90s. It's typical to live in the 80s and 90s. It's because they take care of the health. One of the major means of taking care of the health, besides dieting and so forth, they can't control the stress level of their lives. That's not possible for them, but they compensate by eating right and by going to hot springs and paying attention to the health. Because let's face it, you don't take care of your own physical health, who will? Okay? And so you see, it's a tradition. I'm making fun a little bit of Japanese. saying they learn from monkeys. But please don't take it literally, okay? We can learn from nature ourselves. A lot of things that are good for us is from observing natural events. So you see, so the Japanese are into hot bath, and then you go to, do we have images of Europeans? Like Europeans also put a lot of emphasis on hot bath. Even like the Koreans are into hot bath. The Taiwanese are into hot bath. The Europeans, I can, in my images of movies, gangster movies, I remember images of scenes of Russian gangsters naked with only the white towel in the saunas, and they get murdered and assassinated. James Bond, anyone? Okay, so you see, hello, oh, thank you so much. Okay, careful, don't trip on. Okay, thank you. Would you mind pushing that thing a little bit away, out of the way? There you go, thank you. Okay, so mankind, our wisdom has been to go to hot bath. Quite a few of us go to hot bath, and dates all the way back to Roman times, where you have the Romans who go to hot springs themselves regularly every year. Okay, so that's that goes to. I'm trying to tell you that wisdom has it. We need to take care of our health. And one of the major means of taking care of our physical health is to go to saunas, okay, and go to hot springs. Agree or disagree? Am I exaggerating? Anyway, so why is it a good thing? Because when you go to saunas, you go to hot springs, the heat will increase your blood flow. So far, so good. When the blood flows, then when the blood flows quicker, then it clears the many obstructions throughout your bodies. That's how you heal yourself. All right, and also, I noticed in some movies the Russians would take some twigs and beat themselves like this as well after the saunas or in the saunas, okay? Or the Swedes, they would go to the sauna, and then at the end of the sauna, they would, when they still only wear minimal clothing, they would go out in the snow, okay, naked, okay, and so that's very, very helpful for them. Why? Because the shock of the cold, okay, or your skin being stimulated also further increases the blood flow throughout your body. And that's very good for your health. Think about that. Okay? So, what does it have to do with us? Meditation is even better than that. That's why I meditate with you. I meditate with you is because when we meditate like this, your chi increases, which will naturally increase your blood flow in your bodies. Okay? So think of it as you will. Sitting for 1 hour of meditation like we just did is far better than your going to the hot springs or the saunas, believe it or not. Okay? And furthermore, if you develop the skills to enter samadhis you can keep on increasing the benefits to your meditation sits, whereas the saunas or the hot springs will max out at a certain level and that's it. There's no more. You can gain no more additional benefits from your saunas and your hot springs. So far, so good. Unless you take your twigs and beat yourself and inflict more pain on your body, then that's another trick for you to increase the blood flow. Okay? Yeah. So far, so good. So that's why developing the skills for you, to your meditation skills, in order to increase your samadhi. Okay, the higher your level of samadhi, the stronger your chi flows, the stronger your blood flows. Therefore, you are actually restoring your health. Questions, comments? So in particular, when you go to a place like a temple here and you meditate with us, you're sitting next to someone who's better than you, who's high level than you. Okay? Actually, it's very helpful for you. Okay? Because when you meditate, you generate energy, you generate chi, energy around you. Okay? And that's why your neighbors will benefit from it. So that's why when I first started to meditate, what's going on here? I feel like going to a health spa now. Look like they're having a better time than we do. Anyway, where was I? No one was listening anyway. Okay. So when you sit to someone, if that person is better than you, actually you benefit from the meditation sits more than if you were to sit by yourself. Okay, so that's why not only it happens during meditation, it also happens after meditation, because your chi, when it flows stronger, that energy level right there is yours. So wherever you are, you benefit the people around you. Okay, if you have babies and your child comes near you, they suck up, they absorb their energy, and it will energize them, and they'll run like crazy. They won't get tired. Okay, they won't sleep. So be careful. Okay, so this is one of the reasons why I sit with you, because when I sit with you, actually it's helpful to you. Okay, and does it help for the people who are not physically here? Yes, it helps. It's not quite the same, but it's almost the same. In my case, it's almost the same. I don't know about the other masters, the other Chan teachers. But in my case, I'm doing this is because this is the time for you. It's a time for everyone who is interested in meditating with us, and in doing so, will take care of their own physical health. All right? Questions or comments? Well, you're in a good mood today. Oh, okay. Very talkative. So that's why even during the pandemic, we we when all the monks and nuns are frightened of getting the COVID-19, we weren't and we aren't, and we still allow people to come to our temple if they need a place to meditate and meditate with us. So that's why our policy has always been to make ourselves available for you when you need it. All right? All right. Wei Mountain has a question.
Master, if there was a person at home meditating and turn on Master meditating at any time, can they also benefit from the meditation as well?
Yes, absolutely. If you tune in on the internet, okay, the two things that happens, why you benefit from tuning in. Number one, the internet transmission carries the qi. It's a channel of qi transmission as well. Okay? Like when you call and talk to someone, it also carries transmission of the energy and the qi as well. Okay? So you benefit, number one, because of the internet connection. Okay? The qi, the energy is being channeled, okay, through that channel. And number two is that the follow-up question is, how far can you go? Okay. For example, what if someone tunes in from, God forbid, Australia? Okay. Half of a world away. How does that work? The point I'm trying to get at, trying to make is can we quantify? Try to quantify how much it can get out of it instead of being physically close like you are here today, versus they have to use a connection, internet connection, and being thousands of miles away or tens of thousands of miles away. Okay, how does that work? Again, number one, internet connection carries the qi. Okay, and then furthermore, the second thing that you will find beneficial is because for you it's far. Okay, for you in your mind, for you tune in from Korea, from Australia, and for you it's far, but for me it's not. Okay, so that's why it doesn't affect my range at all, because for you it's far, so you limit your range. For me, it's not far. I don't see any problems with that. Yes, Yellow.
Master, I think you just got that. The point I was trying to ask is that, like, Chan should be markless, right? So it really doesn't depend on the medium, physical medium, like internet. It should be able to transmit without a physical carriers.
It's because what happens is that you limit yourself. You're basically saying, this is too far, this is so far. You're in Austria, okay? And you say, I'm very far away. You are feeling you're so far away, you believe you're far away, okay? So that right there creates a barrier in your mind. Okay, so you're stopping yourself. I don't think like that, so that's why it's not as the range is not as affected by the distance. Does it make sense to you or not? One day you will understand. Okay. Similarly, okay. So in the same way. for us to help people, we don't need to be physically facing you or be near you. Okay? For example, in December 2019, some older gentleman was sick with the COVID-19. They called us, and from here we helped him. And he got better in 2 weeks. Okay, he was in the hospital. Okay. So you see, or a few months ago, someone was sick, very, very sick in New York. Okay, couldn't breathe from the COVID thing. Okay, and later the sister-in-law got the same problem, and we don't have to be there. We can help them. So you see, it's because we are not as bothered, if you will, by the physical distance as you are. Okay. You too.
Jane asks, will Master or Sangha with a much higher samadhi level also benefit from sitting with low samadhi folks like us? Or does Master just pass on his samadhi down to us?
Do I benefit from you, from your chi? I don't know how to answer that question in a polite way. You think you can benefit me? In other words, from sitting with me? I'd love to have that. If that's the case, I'd be... yes, orange, yellow.
I just remember a word Master sometimes say, bloodsuckers.
Or leeches. I found a better term. Leeches. If you sit with me, you benefit me in a way that you are not aware of. Okay, it benefit me not from your cheese, but from your problems. Okay, what happened is the reason that your chi level is low is because you have some problems. So by being together, I'm learning more about your problems and learning as I'm exposed to it, I'm figuring out how to fix those problems. So it helps me in that sense. Because before I was meditating by myself, I had no clues on how to use my skills. And when my late Chinese teacher told me to start teaching, years later I realized that by teaching people, I learn from their problems, why they're where they are, and why they improved, and so forth. So it helped broaden my understanding of Chan and Qi and so forth. Okay, and over the years, I became less and less. The point where, for example, there's someone who tunes in from Germany, and I sat in that online session, virtual session with them. Okay, and to them, they are thinking they're in Germany and I'm in the United States. For me, I don't think like that. My mind is that we meditate together, whether you're here or whether you're in Germany, it's the same to me. Okay, so they reported later. She felt a lot. Her sit was a lot better than she ever sat before. Okay, so it's all in your mind. Okay, it's not intellectual thing. You, when I talk about mind, is that you intellectualize it. You think about it. I don't think about it. Okay, when you think about it, you stop yourself. You limit yourself. I don't think about it, so whether you're here or you are somewhere else, to me, it's the same. Okay, that's the difference. You too, go ahead.
Tiango asks, Master, if a person sits in full lotus in a Zoom session or in a room with other people who do not cultivate, will they benefit and suck the chi from the full lotus person?
Another aspect of this group cultivation is that the main thing about group cultivation is the person in charge, the strongest person, will provide the chi energy field strong enough for everyone to suck from it. I mean, to to absorb it. Okay, so you're not affecting the others at all. Okay, that's how it works. And if you sit in full lotus or you don't sit in full lotus, it really doesn't make any difference, okay? The reason we train you to do full lotus, and folks, remember not to move when you sit. When you move, it's not as good. So resist the temptation to move. These are very simple fundamentals. Don't move when you sit. Whether you sit in full lotus or not in full lotus, in a chair or on the ground, it doesn't matter. Don't move, okay? Let go, okay? Relax, okay? Then in the state of calm, of rest, you recharge a lot faster and a lot more than if you were to be nervous and keep on thinking, all right? So just empty yourself, stop thinking, stop worrying, and that's how you charge up a lot faster, okay? And if you are trained, if you are even more ambitious and you want to train yourself so that you can generate the chi yourself without having to take it from someone else's, in that case, then you develop the ability to give chi to your own children, to your own partners, to your own mother or father, okay? So now you become a giver. You become a giver instead of just a taker. All right? So that's why you want to develop that skill. Anything else? Okay. We just talk about physical health, meaning that physical health is that life force right there, the chi has to flow. The stronger it flows, the healthier you are. Okay? When you're tired, the chi flows weaker. That's why. All right? There's also, there's a question from Derek as well, I think.
Yes, the question was from Moon from San Jose. She asks, I have been suffering from anxiety that is similar to a panic disorder for a long time. I know that this comes from my karmic obstacles. Sitting in full lotus is supposed to help this. I sit and I feel comfortable until I get to a pain barrier. However, when I face this barrier, I get anxious. I fear that the pain may trigger my anxiety. Why should I endure the pain which would increase my fear and anxiety to help my anxiety?
Okay, this is a very easy question, so I let my disciples take care of it. Go ahead, disciples. Jongyin Sunim, go ahead and answer. He's chuckling. Go ahead. In Korean, it's okay.
저도 아픈 걸 잘 못 참아서
And speak with conviction. Don't hesitate. It's a Korean question, so we let the Korean Sunims, the monks and nuns, answer it.
계속 참다 보면
That's
더
it?
아프고 더 아픈데 계속 참다 보면은 어느 때 넘어갑니다. 그래서 이제 결과부전을 한 지 1년 반 정도 지났는데 이게 어느 선에서 넘어가는 게 있어서 마음이 안정이 되는 게 느껴졌습니다. 예, 그런 변화가 오는 때가 있으니까 그때까지 참고 계속 포기하지 않고 하는 게 중요한 것 같습니다.
If you keep sitting, and then someday you will overcome your problem, and then your mind will be calm. So the important is not to quitting and just keep doing, keep sitting in lotus.
Okay, Sangwok, go ahead. What's your point?
Yeah, it's the I'm agree with the Jongin S님. So if she keeps sitting, then someday she can solve her problem, and then her mind will become calm and more calmer and calmer, and then she can experience some change.
How about something more original? You too agreeable. Anything else you'd like to add? We'll wait, and we have plenty of time. Take your time. So much pressure. Huh? See, this is back to herself. You know, she said, "Don't talk to me." Very good. Anyone else? What about you? Anyone has any ideas? This lady here has anxiety. She's new to meditation, and she started to meditate the past few weeks or so, past month or so, and it helps her to calm herself a little bit initially. And then when the leg pains came, her anxiety became stronger. So instead of, she was hoping that sitting in meditation would help reduce the anxiety, actually the anxiety became more acute during meditation. And that's the problem, isn't it? So it's a good question. Okay. Yes, go ahead. Yellow.
So I think that would help her face the problem more directly. So yes, she will feel the anxiety problem is stronger because she has to face it when she crosses her legs. But that will help her solve the problem quicker, just like the Sunni said eventually, if she keeps doing it.
Okay. You too.
Emily says, for me, I force it, face it head on, like two negatives clashing, becoming positive.
Okay. Anyone else? Anyone cares to help this Korean lady out who has anxiety about her meditation? That's it? You guys really have no compassion at all. Huh? You don't care, do you? Yes, the abbot.
A Di Đà Phật. Đây là cái kinh nghiệm của con trước. Thì cứ ngồi thì đương nhiên nó đau, Nhưng mà nhớ lời của cái thầy dạy là không có bung ra là một, thứ hai là chịu đau. Cứ thế mà làm hoài thì đến một lúc nào đó đó tự nhiên cái đau nó biến và những cả cái lo lắng cái gì của mình biến, và lúc đó mình rất là sung sướng và rất là mừng, tự động nó biến mất hết. Đó là phải chịu, có một cách duy nhất là chịu đau, nhưng mà đừng có bung cái chân ra. Theo cái lời chỉ dẫn cứ ngồi như vậy. Ta kêu 1 giờ thì 1 giờ, mà mình nếu mà mình đau quá thì ráng, càng ráng thì một thời gian nào đó nó bật một cái, nó qua giống như mình một cái ống nước nó chảy mà nó hết ngạt thì tự nhiên nó thông đi. Quý vị sẽ cảm giác được cái sung sướng và cái đau nó không còn nữa. Cái thân thể mình nó nhẹ nhàng dữ lắm, cả toàn thân luôn.
I could like to share my experience before I became a left home person. I remember that I was meditate and Master taught us that you just sit through the pain. You have to endure the pain, and then eventually all of your worry, all of the pain, it will disappear. Suddenly it disappears. But at first you need to endure it and do not unbuckle. So follow the instruction. If the instructions say you sit for 1 hour, you endure it for 1 hour. If you continue to do it, then eventually there will be a moment that you experience the blissfulness, and it will break through all of the blockage, and you feel very light, very good.
Okay, Wei Mong.
You should detach yourself from the thoughts. Don't dwell on the thoughts. They're in your head. Let them pass. Just don't dwell on that, and continue to sit and focus on clearing your mind, and let the thoughts come and go, and just don't dwell on them.
Okay, anyone else? Very good. All your answers are correct. So we tell the lady, good luck. Okay? There's so much wisdom there already, I cannot add much more than that. Okay? What else can we tell her? Okay? She can quit. So what's the big deal? Just quit. Yeah, go ahead, Green.
Yeah, I think maybe she's not meditating correctly. She should pick a focus point like the navel as she meditates, and then just focus on that, and also focus on her breath. And if she keeps doing that, then all thoughts of anxieties would come to pass.
Okay, you too.
Jane says the person should sit in the temple with a nun, and she will be able to overcome it when sitting with a nun.
Which nun?
She did not specify.
Does Jane know some kind of nun that I don't know about? Huh? Okay. When you give advices, you have to be careful. It has to be based on your personal experience. If you give advices based on from reading from a book or from conjectures, you could fall flat on your face and you lose credibility, and that's it. You're done. Okay? So especially when you want to teach meditation, you have to be careful. All right, you too. Go ahead.
Emily says, I had high levels of stress, which formed into anxiety. When I started to cross my legs, I had countless and various obstacles, but I pushed through it. Then I forgot when, it just suddenly disappeared.
There you go. Excellent. That's how you have to learn to answer questions. When people come to you for help, okay, if you understand the problem, then answer. You don't understand the problem, you don't know how to solve the problem, say, I'm sorry, I don't know how to solve your problem. You have to be honest about it, okay? And I don't know how to solve it. Let me ask someone else. All right? Because we practice together as a group. We don't know everything. Each of us have our own insights based on our circumstances. That's why it makes it more interesting, more richer in experience, because we have different personal experiences. Okay, so don't be afraid to say I don't know. Okay, let's go ask someone else. Okay, for this particular person here. If you extrapolate the problem, okay, it's basically, here's the problem. She sits there, okay, and her mind calms down. That's the physical process. Your mind will calm down. You will, when you meditate, naturally, okay? If you give it enough time, your mind will have no choice but calm down. That's the secret. It's because you stop prematurely. That's why your mind doesn't have a chance to calm down yet. That's the principle behind this. Chan meditation is sit longer so that the mind gets calmer and calmer and calmer and calmer. Got it? So during your sits, sometimes you get agitated, okay? Could be from your child, okay? Could be from your neighbor, okay? Could be from the smell of food. Does it happen to you? Not you, huh? To me, too often, okay? Or it's a thought in your mind says, what if I hurt myself? Huh? So, when that happens, you react to that. And that's why you become more agitated. If the thought comes to you and you're worried about your pain, you're worried about this, you're worried about that, you're anxious about this, anxious about that, just keep on sitting as the advice is given to you, then the thoughts will pass as well. Your mind will calm down. Don't make the mistake of adding fuel to the fire. If the thought says, if the thought of anxiety arrives, the thought of depression arrives, the thought, I'm feeling so bad, I'm so depressed, I'm not happy. Okay, any kind of thoughts, negative thoughts in particular, pay attention. Okay, we have a lot of negative thoughts that will pop up in our minds when we meditate. Only happens to me or happens to you? Only to me, clearly. I'm the only person who has negative thoughts of worries, of depression, of anxiety, of anger, okay? Those are simply thoughts. I'm trying to make a point here. Those thoughts there will arrive. And meditation teaches you just to not react to those thoughts. Don't hang on to those thoughts. Don't grab those thoughts and add fuel to the fire. Those thoughts arise, and what happens? When you shoot an arrow into the sky, what happens eventually? We have to fall down. It's nothing. You don't have to do anything. Any thought that arises in your mind will have to die down by itself. You don't have to do anything whatsoever. But if you have this thought, anxiety, say, I'm more anxious. Of course you're more anxious than before. That's natural as well. Okay? And you say, oh my God, I'm more anxious than before. Now what? Chan meditation is not helping at all. So you're adding fuel to the fire. One thought is, I'm more anxious. And then you say, oh, Chan is not working for me. I better quit. What if it doesn't work at all? You see, you're adding more thoughts and thoughts and thoughts. You're not helping yourself. You're shooting yourself in the foot. That's all you're doing. Same thing. When we sit, I notice people, fidget a little bit, move a little bit. That's a thought, isn't it? That's why we teach you, don't move. See how simple it is? And that starts physically with you not moving, and then physically, and then when the thoughts arises, don't react to the thoughts either. That's what it boils down to. When that happens, the anxiety will die down a lot quicker. Yes, so she can be reassured that thought anxiety is stronger. That's normal. That comes from meditation. That comes from increased concentration. When your concentration increases, your thought will become stronger. That's natural. It's a positive thing that she becomes more anxious, meaning that her concentration has increased. It's a good thing. That's all. Okay? And stop at that. Don't have to do anything else. Let it die. That's a simple answer. Does it help? Okay? It's not just about anxiety. Suppose you feel disappointment in your life. You feel rejected. You feel inadequate. Anyone? Only me. You see, you guys are so happy, such happy people. I fail so often my entire life. Actually, I still fail. Okay. Badly. Yesterday, I lost my wallet. I lost 5 hours, 6 hours trying to fix the thing. Okay. It's embarrassing. Okay, so I failed yesterday, and I failed the day before as well. So it's I don't know how I can go through here, and I pretend to smile when I'm here, sitting here with you, because it doesn't feel good inside. Okay, so the point here is that meditation helps you become aware, especially of your negative thoughts. In particular, those negative thoughts are the thoughts that are supposed to make you feel bad about yourself. It doesn't matter. You can feel bad about someone else. It doesn't matter, okay? That's not your problem. If someone is ugly, someone is unbearable, it's her problem, not our problem, okay? But don't let it affect you. Okay, so part of life is to learn to be aware of the negative thoughts that arise in your mind that are actually affecting your mental health. Be aware of that, okay? Because those negative thoughts will die by themselves. Don't feed to them, okay? Meditation is so important. Every day you meditate, okay? These negative thoughts arise. Positive thoughts, it's okay for now. Your levels, it's okay. It's okay. You should feel good about yourself, it's okay. You say, yeah, I'm cool. I'm making progress. It's a good thing, okay? Yes, I'm doing the right things. That's wonderful, okay? But for now, at your level, focus on the negative thoughts, okay? Be aware of these negative thoughts, whether it's anxiety, whether it's depression, whether it's, those feelings you don't good about yourself. Be very careful, okay? Those Can I tell you? I tell you a little secret. It's an attack on you. Don't become a victim. You naturally are a happy and fun-loving person. Aren't you? Again, I'm the only person. True or not? Huh? We are actually, let me tell you, deep down in our heart, we're very happy. Okay? And we allow external factors to bring us down. Don't let it happen to you. So you basically go through life being a victim of life. Be careful. Okay? These negative thoughts, doesn't matter again. My theme today is about health, in particular we health. We don't have a lot of time left to talk about it, but I want you to be aware of it. When you meditate, we advise you to meditate every day because, number one, physically, it helps you become physically healthier. That's a fact. Okay? Number two, much more important, but you're not aware of it, is that your mind is healthier. The reason that your body is healthier is because your mind is healthier. When your mind is healthier, you're more productive at work. You want that promotion? Huh? Yes? You want a recognition from your bosses, from your subordinates? Get a stronger and healthier mind. Then you'll get it. Because as your mind becomes stronger and healthier, the people around you will benefit from it. You will notice it, will benefit from it. That's how you get your promotions. Okay? So the theme today is, and I am grateful for the question, she's not the only one. Anxiety, yes, anxiety is, shall we call it for what it is? A mental disorder. Basically, she's under attack from these beings who plant these negative thoughts in her mind. That's called karmic obstructions. Okay? Let him see. Now observe him. Let him see what he does next. See, if he keeps on going, then he's a victim of life. We get afflicted, we're victim of him. Okay? You see that? Okay. You see? He'll figure it out. You see? That's education. He has to figure it out himself. We're not going to do it for him. He wants comfort, he better find a way to get comfort. See? Yeah, I know adults have no compassion whatsoever. You're right. Okay, so be careful. Okay? It's a lot more involved than you think. Don't think, for example, you think that someone made a comment that you can overcome it, eventually it goes away. No, it doesn't quite work like that. At this point for today, I want you to be aware that these negative thoughts, more often than not, I'd say 90% of the time, okay, especially in this era, it's an attack on you via your mind. So be aware of these negative thoughts and don't do anything for now. Take a beating. That's how you will overcome them eventually. Accept it. Yes, be aware that you're under attack, okay? Be aware of it, that's all. And look at it, that's it. Look at how bad you feel, look at how more anxious you become, okay? That's a natural process, okay? And don't quit, keep on sitting and sitting, and you sit long enough, eventually you understand, and you will eventually rise above it. It's a natural process. However, quite often than not, you won't be able to continue to sit, okay? That's when you need help. You need to sit next to people who are stronger than you. And those people who are stronger than you are actually putting pressure on the beings that are attacking you, attacking your mind right now. Okay? So you're receiving help invisibly as well. It's a lot more involved than you think. Okay? So it's possible to deal with those issues, but it's a lot more involved than I have time to explain to you. Okay? So the simple answer is don't worry, don't quit, and it's a good thing. You know, the increased anxiety is a sign of improvement. Okay, let her become more anxious and keep on meditating. Eventually, it will get fixed. Okay. All right. And a word of warning before we stop today. And if you get to the point where you find it totally overwhelming, ask for help. Help is available. Okay? Because in some cases, you need help. And it's not that hard, okay, to get help. It's not that hard to help you. Remember, we are specialists in meditation, meaning that for me to get where I am today, for my disciples to get where they are today, they faced those problems, okay? Much bigger problems than yours, and they overcame them. That's why they know how to help themselves. All right? They experience enough. So, for example, the Korean answers are correct, okay? That's because they went through the process themselves. For example, that monk there, the first one who spoke, okay? He spoke from personal experience. He didn't express it. But when he first came to our place, our temple a year ago, he has a lot of mental challenges, many negative thoughts. Yes or no? He said, yes, Master. Okay? So he spoke from his personal experience. Okay? So I let them attack him. So that's why he progressed very quickly. That's a problem. When they attack you, you will improve a lot faster. All right? So I wouldn't worry. The final advice to that Korean ladies, don't worry. Okay? Hang in there. And eventually we'll get better. Hopefully, sooner than not. The more anxiety she experiences, it's turned that into a good thing. I mean that she's improving. All right? Okay, we stop here today. Thank you all. See you next time.